Yeah, so really the issue is the population level to maintain the migration of the monarch butterfly. It's a really cool migration. People should look into it if they don't know it. And if you drop below a certain level of butterflies, that migration may be imperiled. And so it's been going on now. We've been analyzing this since about 2015 to the point where it's concluded with the proposal yesterday as a threatened species.
Now, are farmers being blamed by any sector in all of the discussion here?
Well, certainly not by me or by the Fish and Wildlife Service. I think there's just a recognition that we've changed our landscape to the point where milkweed is not as common as it would be. Urban areas do that just as much as agricultural areas, and so it's really an all hands on deck approach of trying to figure out ways to increase the stems of milkweed such that the monarch can reproduce more.
Okay, and we're getting down to a point where we've got a problem.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where either there's not enough milkweed or the monarchs aren't finding the milkweed such that the population numbers are dropped to a point where that migration is threatened.
Okay, and that lower number is really a response of farmers' use of various herbicides for crop protection.
Oh, I don't know if I would go that far, Stu. I mean, I mow my lawn just like you mow your lawn, and I manage my road ditch, and I take milkweed out of both of those areas. So I wouldn't necessarily point the finger at producers using chemicals in any way. Is that one component? Yeah, it's one component of many land use types that we see that reduce milkweed stems.
Other than farmers, what are some of the things that are concerning here for monarchs?
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly if you just think about urban sprawl, right? Like we all care about, prime farm ground, and we see around a lot of our urban areas significant growth, and those areas are taking milkweed off the landscape, and so I think there's that as well as how we maintain our natural areas, both state parks, federal wildlife refuges, but just natural areas that could be increased for more milkweed. And that's I think an easy, low-hanging fruit for us to grab a hold of.
Aaron Hager, who watches weeds around here for University of Illinois, has been working hard on the Endangered Species Act over the last year, and some of the things that are really impacting farmers. Farmers are saying, well, I may have an endangered species or a habitat in my field. This is something that's going to cause me to change farming. Farmers are going to have a tough time, really, in complying with some of those regulations, it seems.
Oh, no, so that's some of that misinformation, Stu, is common agricultural practices are not being impacted in any way. So if they're out there using rotational grazing or they're using traditional row crop production and crop rotations, none of that is going to be impacted. And to the extent that it would impact how they farm, I would say if you have an endangered species on your land, keep doing whatever you've been doing because it's working. So I just think that's maybe not a factual statement that it's going to impact what we do, because where we see monarchs, where we see rusty patch bumblebee, where we see some of these imperiled species, those producers, those landowners have been doing something right. So let's keep doing whatever you've been doing.
Now, that is something that's going to surprise a lot of people based on messages that have been in print and broadcast for the last year or so.
Well, I don't think it should. I mean, I don't think... I guess I don't know where that's been printed, Stu, but I think there may be a misunderstanding about how agriculture works in the Midwest, and I think we just need to open up those communications and fix some of that as being miscommunicated.
Okay, so if a farmer sees that he's got some land that's in a corner of an endangered species patch, really he doesn't have to do anything as far as a difference in the way that he's farming?
I would say absolutely not. There's no federal action there. It's a private action. Those private actions are not subject to the Endangered Species Act in that way, similar to federal actions. And if that habitat is there and they've been farming in that way for likely generations, keep doing it. It's working. Keep doing it.